Anyone seen that commercial before? Yeah, that was a Super Bowl commercial. That was a Super Bowl commercial a number of years ago. Terry Tate. But to me, it's a great example of a particular leadership style, right? A very aggressive leadership style. And if you think about it, there are lots of different leadership styles. In fact, each of us engages in different leadership styles every day. Every day we use, an assortment of different leadership styles, whether it's like Terry Tate or maybe something not quite as aggressive as that particular style. Well, think about how would you describe your leadership style, your most common leadership style? Is it like Patton, the great American military general, or is it like Gandhi, the famous Indian prime minister? What would describe your leadership style? Well, the reality is, again, we take on a variety of different leadership styles on any given day, right? Depending on usually two factors. Two factors determine the leadership style that we use in any given moment. Those two factors are, number one, the people that we're leading, the experience particularly of the people that we're leading. And then secondly, the urgency of the situation that we're in. Two factors that determine our leadership style: the experience of the people that we're working with, the urgency of the situation that we find ourselves in. And so I'll use an example. If I'm speaking to you all, if we were live and maybe my throat was a little dry, I might ask Augustine to go grab a glass of water for me. So I'd say, "Hey, Augustine, my throat's a little dry. Would you mind grabbing me a glass of water?" Well, think about that leadership style. I used a certain leadership style there. Calm, kind of unassuming, didn't raise my voice. Well, why? Because the two factors: number one, the experience of the person I'm working with. I'm sure Augustine has helped people, grab a drink or something before. This wasn't the first time. And it certainly was not an urgent situation. So I used a very calm, "Hey, would you mind grabbing me a glass of water?" Right? That was the leadership style I choose. And in a half a second in my head, I had to think about, okay, how am I going to ask Augustine to do this? And then it just kind of came naturally. Compare that to if we were all together again at the SBDC office and all of a sudden a fire burst out in the room. We saw flames in the middle of our room. And I, in a matter of seconds, needed to get each of you out of that meeting room. Well, how would I handle that situation? Well, my guess is I would, at the loudest possible, I would scream, "Everybody, exit the room quickly as possible. Grab your stuff," right? I would use a very different leadership style in that situation. One, I'm not sure how many of you have ever been in a burning building before. And two, pretty urgent situation. So given those two factors, I would utilize a different leadership style. More urgent, more loud, right? Everybody out of the room. So I just want you to be aware of that one, every day you're using a variety of different leadership styles, whether it's with your employees, customers, your kids, suppliers, whoever it might be. You're using a variety of different leadership styles. And what I want you to do starting today is just be more mindful of those leadership styles and just ask yourself, is this an appropriate style for the people I'm leading and the situation that I find myself in? Again, the two factors that determine leadership style: people I'm leading, urgency of the situation that I find myself in. I'm reminded there was a quote that I saw not long ago. It said the following: "Don't try to race sheep. Don't try to herd racehorses." Right? We have to understand who we're leading and find the appropriate leadership style.